Hello everyone and welcome in the next video on my channel, and in today's video we'll do the scoreboard, run scoreboard, as you see at the right top. Okay, so as you see, it's showcase 2 players right now because only 2 players are in the game. But if I have, for example, 5 players, it will show 5 players. But it's you can set max players in the Verse device, so it's really up to you what you want. And as you see, I have the trigger to increment my ranked points. And when I go to this trigger, I get plus 50 points, and it updates on the very top right. And when I rank up, it's also update my rank image. As you see, now I'm bronze 1. Okay, and if I rank up from the other account, as you see, boom, boom, and boom, as you see, and if I go further than 150 points, boom, I get up. And as you notice, maybe the other players are on the white background, and me as a player is on the green background. Okay, so as you see, it's showcasing the player which one are they in the scoreboard, so they are not need to find them like who am I, blah blah blah, but you can see on the black background. Okay, so that's what we'll be doing in today's video, and yeah, let's go and do it. But before we get into the tutorial, I want to quickly tell you about something that can save you a lot of time and money. It's called Map Mastery Accelerator. If you ever spent hours trying to fix broken verse systems, jump between a bunch of tutorials and still couldn't get things working, or found yourself paying someone on Fiverr just to get a basic script done, Map Mastery Accelerator was made to solve that. It's a full course that teaches you how to build real Fortnite maps using UEFN and Verse, plus a library of ready-to-use scripts you can drop straight into your projects. And if you ever get stuck, you will get access to private Discord channels where you can ask questions and get help without digging through YouTube tutorials for hours. And if you want to check it out first, there's a free preview with the first chapter and some working scripts you can plug into your own map. Just click the link in the description and I'll see you inside. Okay, so I'm in UEFN right now, and I'm in the project of the previous rank system, like previous video. So if you want rank system, I made it in the previous video, so you can do the rank system first and later go back to this video, because we need rank system to show the rank images and sort the players by their rank points. Okay, so let's create a new verse file called Scoreboard. Oh, it's called Scoreboard system. Okay, and let's hit on create. Okay, let's open our VS Code. Okay, and let's delete that useless comments, blah blah blah. Okay, and firstly let's add the stats. Okay, so this will be the enum. With what stats do you want to track? You have the rank, so by rank, and by rank points. Okay, so you can which rank player have, or which how much player have points. Okay. And next we need the scoreboard agent data, okay, which is a class without any modifiers. We don't need that. And here the scoreboard agent data is a session data, so it's not saved. And let's create first variable will be UI widget. Okay, so this is canvas is equals to canvas, so basically the widget of the scoreboard, and we need to add the using to temporary UI. Okay, here. And the next thing is var ranks texture blocks. Okay, it is the array of texture block. Okay, this is the array of it. So here we will store the whole rank images on the scoreboard for each player. Next is var names text block. Okay, which is text block is equals to array text block, and we need to add using Fortnite UI. Okay, so let's add that. Next is stats text block, which is the array of text block, so array of text block equals to array. Okay, and the last thing is backgrounds, which is the array of color block. Okay, because we don't have any image on our background, so we can manipulate with the color of it and opacity if you want. So yeah. Okay, in the scoreboard system we need to add a couple editables. So first one will be editable rank system. Okay, so to access the rank system, so rank system is equals to rank system, so you can access the agent data and how his rank points, his current rank, and all this stuff. Okay, next is how much players on scoreboard. So this is basically how much players do you want on the scoreboard. As default it's 5, you know, like 5 players, and if you want less or more you can, you know, change that value. Okay. Next is editable stat to track. It's our stats equals to stats that for as default will be rank points. So which stat you want to track on the scoreboard, if you want to, you know, track rank points or rank. Okay. And the last thing will be the FPS. So basically this is the FPS to refresh the scoreboard, like how often you want this. Okay. And the last thing we need the variable agent data map. Okay. And this is a map where the key is the agent and the value is our scoreboard agent data. Okay. And this is the map. And we'll need two functions. First will be scoreboard, or maybe S agent to message. So we will know that this is from the scoreboard system. Okay. And it will, you know, not collide with other codes. Localizes, we need to localize this to localize this message. And we need to provide agent, and we want to convert our agent into a message. Okay, so we can display it on our scoreboard like the player name. Okay. And quotes and these three brackets and the agent inside. Okay. And next is S string to message. Here also we need to localize it because here we need to convert the string into a message type. Okay, so we can display it in our UI. Okay. And here let's create some functions. So first will be on player joint. Okay. And this will give us the agent type void equals return. Okay, so we're not returning anything, but return so we don't get any errors for now. Okay. And on player removed. Okay, for agent okay, type void equals return. Okay. Next will be the bubble sort players. Okay, so you sort the player by his, you know, ranks or rank points. It's, you know, it depends which one you selected here. Okay, and this here we need to provide the array of all players, and this will return us an array of players but sorted. Okay, so return, oh, we can't return for now, so let's add var sorted players will be the array of player, and as default value will be our players here that we need to provide, and we want to return always our sorted players. Okay, so next function will be get best players. Okay, and this is array of the player. Okay, and the var current best players is an array of player, and this equals to array. Okay, and we need to return always this value. So here we're sorting every single player, and here we're getting the best players from, you know, we basically in this function sort with this function, and returning the, you know, the number of best players that you provided with in how much players on scoreboard variable. Okay. Oh. Next function is update UI for all players. Okay, so basically it will update the scoreboard for all players, and here we'll have the suspend stacks. Okay, so this basically will be a loop, and type void equals return for now. Okay, next will be remove UI. Okay, so we basically will remove the UI like the scoreboard, we will need that. Okay, and return, and the init UI for agent. Okay, type void equals return for now. Okay, and that is all functions that we need. So let's start from the on player joint. So if not agent data map for our agents, so if our agent data map, like our agent don't have the scoreboard agent data like assigned, you want to set agent data map for our agent to an empty scoreboard agent data. So basically, yeah, he will get the empty one. Okay, and we need to do it then. No, we don't need that. Okay, and after that let's remove, but no, we need to loop through all players. So for player is get play space dot get players. Okay, so I need to loop through all players now, because we don't want to, you know, in update UI have so many things like calculating if new player join, blah 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 blah. Basically, we will just remove and add UI when new player leave or join. Okay, so it will be more efficient. So remove UI for player, and we want to init this UI again with the new values. Okay, so init UI for player. Okay, and next is on player removed, so it's basically this line here, so you can just copy that. Okay, just copy this line. Okay, and all should be good. Let's go to bubble sort players. Okay, so here we have sorted players, and we need to get the length. So basically players length. Okay, and this is the sorted players that length. So we'll get how much players, you know, we have in this array, and if our p length, so players length -1, okay, is greater than 0. Okay, and if that's true, we want to, you know, sort the players. If not, it's basically, you know, 0 players, so we don't need to sort anything. So for y from range from 0 to our p length -1. Okay, and in this for loop we want to do another for loop, but for j. Okay, not for I but for j, and from 0 to p length, so player length -e -2 -e -2. Okay, so basically we need to do a double loop to sort everything, and if integrate the two players, so player A is an sorted players at the index of j. Okay, big J j, and the player B is a sorted players for j plus 1. Okay, so basically accessing every single player now, like sorted them. We want to get the player data for both of these players, so player A is a player A that get player save data, and wait, oh, because we have the player A data. Okay, player A data, and this is from this function is from the run system video. So if you don't do the run system, you don't have this function. So yeah, if you want this to work, you need the run system from the previous video. Okay, and next is player B data, and this is basically, you can just copy this line, and this is the player B that get player save data. Okay, and here we need the two stats for each player. So stat A is an integer with a default value of 0, and var stat B for B player with a type of integer and default value is 0. Okay, and we need to do an if statement. So if the stat to track that is selected here in this variable is equals to stats.rank, so we want to, you know, check for rank. We want to set our stat A to be the player A data that current rank. Okay, and set stat B is equals to basically just the same thing, but instead of player A we want to change it to player B. Okay, and else if our stat to track is equals to stats dot how is it called, let me see, current RP. Okay, so oh no, here we have the run points. Okay, so run points we want to set, so we can just copy this two sets, okay, for stat A and stat B, and we want to set it instead of current rank to current RP, which is current rank points. Okay, so we have all the stats, and after that we want to do an if statement. So if stats A is less than stats B, oh stats, let's change it to stats. Okay, okay, if stats A is less than stats B, we want to if set sorted players at the j index to a player sorted players to a player B. Okay, so basically player B is the player that have more rank points, so it's, you know, going up in the array. Okay, so it's basically better player. And after that we want to set sorted players add index j plus 1, okay, to a player b, a basically. So we're basically changing them in the order, okay. So if player a is, you know, have less score than the player b, we want to change them in order because player b is, you know, better basically, okay. And that's it in this function. Let's go to the get best players. So we need to sort the players, so sorted players, and we need to sort that with the bubble sort players, okay. And here we need to provide the all players, so basically we will provide it from get play space, or get play space that get players, okay. So we basically accessing the all players in the game, okay. And you want to do a for and for player, and we need to loop through sorted players, okay. And we want to set current best players plus equals array with our player, okay, or with our player, and yeah, pair it back. Okay, I think we don't need that function. Like, I double check everything, and yeah, we don't need that function. Let's delete that. We will use basically the bubble sort players, okay. So now let's do the, I don't know if we want to start with update UI. Let's start from init UI, okay. So at the start we need to access the agent data for our player, so agent data map for our agent, okay. And we want to get the player from this, so we can access the, you know, persistence of from the verse, okay. So basically a player from the agent, okay. And we need to get the best players, so best players is basically we need to bubble sort them, so bubble sort players. And we need to provide the get play space that get players, okay. So get players, so basically all players, okay. Next, let's get the player data, so player data is a player that get player save data, so we're getting his own like all player save data, so current rank and current RP, okay. And we want to set his, you know, every single array sphere to 0, so set agent data, okay. I will split that so I will see all the names, okay. Okay, set ranks texture blocks is equals to an empty array. Let's copy that a couple times, and instead of ranks, let's copy the names, okay. Let's copy the stats, and let's copy the backgrounds, okay. And yeah, we want to reset it to 0, okay. And we need to create an array of canvas slots, okay. So canvas slots, because we will canvas slot is array, because on this canvas slots we will basically dynamically add it with loop, okay. So we don't know how much canvas slots we want, because, you know, maybe in the game is currently 3 players, 5 players, you know, we don't want that, okay. So we'll do it dynamically. We don't want add, you know, 5 images and leave, for example, 3 empty, because that, you know, will look ugly. We want that much, you know, space for players to fill all the players, okay. So let's add also a variable with y difference, okay. So this is basically a difference between components at the y direction, okay. And var current y, so this is basically at which y we want to start, okay. So this is basically a start y, like the default value is 110, so this is basically starting one, okay. And here we need to add the for loop, so for y from 0 to how much players on scoreboard, I guess I call it like that, yeah, -1. So basically looping through, you know, how much players we want, for example 10, 5, 2, 3 is, you know, up to you. And we want to get best players, best player is a best players at that index, okay. So yeah, basically it's, you know, sort that players in the order, okay, from the best to the lowest, to the worst, I guess. And we are testing that on the y, so for example if you have 5 players on the scoreboard, it will go with 5 and we'll get 5 best players from this, you know, from this function, basically bubble sort players, okay. And first we want to add the variable called background color, okay? Because as you know, wait, let's add the using first or colors first, okay? Because as you saw, we had like player like me on the scoreboard was black, like on the black background, okay? And the enemies, all the enemies, was on the white background. That's because, you know, we want to show the player which one are he, okay? So basically we have the background color, so we can dynamically change that, okay? Next is rank image, okay? So this is a texture equals to rank UI dot unranked, okay? And let's add the using verse org assets, okay? And if you know don't have the rank UI and all the rank images, just watch the previous video about rank system and you will get all the, you know, images, the codes and everything, okay? And we need to check if our best player, so currently best player that we loop into, is our agent, so our agent that we need initialize this UI for. We want to set the background color to a black, okay? But we need to add the using verse org colors named colors, okay? So we want to add a black color. So yeah, it's up to you. You can, you know, mess around and type red or pink, whatever you only want. I will go with black, okay? And else, so is, you know, any other player, you want to set the background color to a white. It's also up to you which color are you choose, okay? And here we want to access the agent data, but from the rank system. So rank agent data, because we in this agent data in the rank system, wait, let me find it. We have the current rank image, okay? So we basically will get the image from this agent data, okay? So rank system dot agent data map for our agent that we initialize this UI for. No, I think no for this agent, but we want to do it for best player. Yes, yeah, for best player. Okay, we want to set rank image, okay, to rank agent data dot current rank image, okay. And after that, we want to create a var background, okay, which is the color block equals to color block, okay, with a default color of white, okay, because we don't know if player is, you know, on the scoreboard or no. And we want to set the default opacity to 0.2, okay, and I spell default wrong, okay. To 0.2, like you can also mess around with that if you want 0.1, 0.3, or 4, or you know which one you only want. You can test that and, you know, mess around with that, okay. Next is player rank texture block, okay. So basically the player texture, and this is a texture block is equals to a texture block, okay, with a default image of the rank image that we get at here, okay. Next is var player name text block, okay, and this is a text block. So here on this text block we will basically show the player names, okay, with a default text of s agent to message, okay, and we want to provide here the best player, okay. So which player? No, yeah, so best player basically. So we don't want to show agent, because if we put it here, the agent will all in each, you know, in all scoreboard names, like player names will be to this agent that we initialize this UI for. We want to do it for best player that we, you know, have from this bubble sort players function, okay. Next, the default text color, I will go with white. The default is black. If you want black, you don't need to provide that. And the default justification to a text justification dot left, okay. I want this to be on the left justification, because if I draw with center, it will, you know, maybe resize some differently, and, you know, draw on the image or on the points. You know, we don't want that. We don't want that. I will draw with left. Okay. And next is players stat, player stat textboard. So basically his run points. Okay. So this is a textboard equals to textboard. Okay, with a default text. Oh, text. And here we need to use s string to message. Okay, and we need to provide our player data, that's current RP. Okay, so current run points as a default message, like text. Okay, and basically it's the same, so we can just copy these parameters from above, like default text store and justification, but the justification now is to the right. As you see, the points was on the right, so we want to, you know, draw them from right to left instead of left to right. Okay. Okay, and after that we want to set canvas slots, so basically this array that we created here, plus equals array with the canvas slots that we need to create, so for each player. Okay, so first will be the canvas slot, okay, with a widget of our background image, so background color, basically background. Okay, the first will be background on the anchors of anchors. Okay, and the minimum will be the vector 2, and the x 1.0 and the y 0.0. Okay, and let's add the spatial math. Okay, the import, and this anchor is basically right top. Okay, and the maximum is the same, so you can basically just copy this vector. Okay, here is the offsets. Okay, and this is margin. Okay, so margin and the left. Okay, so basically the I don't remember, do I have any? Yeah, I have here. Okay, let's see. Basically is the oh wait, when can I find it? Okay, the position X is a left. Okay, the top is a position Y, the right is a size X, and the bottom is a size Y. Okay, so it's really easy to identify, and if you want to, you know, don't remember the order, you can just oh wait, let me remove the left, and just basically hold the left control and click on left mouse button, click on this margin, and you will get the order left, top, right, bottom. Okay, so let's type left, and on the left I want to minus 235.0. okay, the top will be our current y. Okay, the right will be the 440.0. okay, and the bottom will be 44.0. okay, next is alignment. Okay, which is the vector 2. Okay, and the x will be 0.5 and the y will be 0.5. okay, and size to content equals to false, colon equals to false, and the z order, so in which order this element need to be rendered, we want to do it at the 0, so basically it will be the first element that will be rendered. Okay, so we can copy that canvas slot. We'll not type every single element each time. Okay, and here we'll add the player ranked texture block. Okay, with the same anchors but with the different offset. Of the left I will go with minus 430. Okay, and the right at 40, and bottom at 40. Okay, and the alignment I will go with the same one, but the order I will go with 1. Okay, so we want to render this image above this background, not below, but above. Okay, next canvas slot will be our player name text block. Okay, so you can copy this name and put player name text block with the same anchors but with the different offset, but the left will be the 260. Okay, the right will be also 260, but the left one will be on the minus, as you see is a minus here, minus 160, and the bottom I'll go with 41, so it's the default text size. Okay, like high. Okay, let's copy that again. And the last thing will be the player stat text block. Okay, and here I will go with minus 115. Okay, at the left, at the right to 195. Okay, and everything the same. Okay, so after adding everything to our canvas slots, you know, this variable, we want to set our current y, okay, to plus equals y difference. Okay, so for each player, like adding to the canvas slots, we want to change the y difference, you know, the current y plus the y difference, so it will, you know, start, you know, from up to down, not, you know, at the same position every single time. Okay, and after that we want to set our agent data that runs. So basically, let's go here and let's copy everything from here. Okay, and let's paste it here, and instead of array, we want to add the plus equals sign, okay, instead of equals. So let's add plus equals, okay, plus equals plus equals plus equals, and instead of empty array, we want to add the player rank texture block. Okay, here we want to add player name texture block, text block, so player name text block. Here we want to add the player stat text block, and the last one will be the background color, not color, background, basically background. Okay, background, oh, how I type it, the background color, but oh, I forgot the K. Okay, so let's change that. And also the, oh, I think the background, we need to set the default color to a background color. Okay, and now should all be good. Okay, and let's add that to our player UI. So let's go back, you know, with one backspace, and if player UI is basically the get player UI for our player. Okay, you can't type it agent because, you know, it will only work with player, so we need to provide the player. Okay, and we want to create a new canvas. So new canvas is basically a canvas with the slots. So this is basically the array of canvas slots, and we will just provide our canvas slots variable that we created above. Okay, and after that, let's add the widget. So player UI that add widget. Okay, and we need to add this new canvas that we, you know, basically created here. So player will see that on his own screen, and we want to set the agent data that UI widget to a new canvas. Okay, so we basically setting up this UI widget so we can remove that with our remove UI function. Okay, so let's go to this remove UI function, and let's add then if statement. So if we want to get the player from our agent to access the player UI, so player from the agent. Okay, and we need to get the player UI, so basically player UI is a get player UI from our player. Okay, and let's also get the widget that we set it up in the agent data, so agent data map for our agent, and the UI widget. Okay, so we basically refer to our UI widget. Okay, and after that we want to player UI that remove widget. Okay, so we basically remove the widget and we need to provide the widget. So we basically will use the widget from here that we set it up below when we assign it the UI. Okay, and after that we want to set this visibility to hidden. So widget set visibility to widget visibility dot hidden. Okay, like it will remove, but sometimes it bugs and, you know, removes after 1 second, 2 seconds, and the hidden happens instantly. So yeah, it's easier to, like, if you don't want any bugs and, you know, UI mess around with each other, basically just hide this UI. Okay, and the last function is update UI for all players. So first thing, we want to add the variable called loop expire time. Okay, which is a float, and the default value is 5 minutes, so 300 seconds, and the var current loop time. Okay, this is the float, and this default value is a loop expire time. Okay, I found, like, on my own that the loops happens, you know, working for entire session, like 4 hours, I guess, is the session time. After like an hour, it can you know, mess around the performance of the game. So when I start breaking it, like after 5 minutes, the performance of the game significantly improved. Okay, so I recommend you to break loops after a time. Okay, so let's create a loop. So loop with a sleep of 1 second, or maybe not second, because we need to provide the FPS. So 1.0 divided by FPS. Okay, so our FPS that we set it up, and we want to set the current loop time, okay, minus equals 1.0 divided by our FPS, okay, or basically we can just create L FPS, and this will be our 1.0 FPS, and we can provide it here, okay. And we need to wait, okay, we need to get the best players. So basically you can copy just this line from the init UI, from the best players to bubble sort it. Okay, so let's put it here. Okay, and we need to loop through all the players. So basically not from this best player but for the all players in the session. So for player is basically get play space, that's that the brackets here, let's get players. Okay, and we want to access the agent data for each player. So agent data is an agent data map for each player. Okay, and after that we need to do another loop, because no, but let's do the loop like that for and do, and that's why we need to do another loop, because as you see we have the, you know, player doing it like that, like we adding it to array and, you know, accessing that, and we have the arrays of the run texture, and we'll update it based on that array. So we need to loop through these arrays, okay, and basically update it through this array. Okay, so we need to do a y, so which we, or the index. Okay, so idx is basically an index, so in the range from 0 to our agent data that names, or basically maybe texture. Okay, let's do with names textboard that length. Okay, we can do that with how much players on scoreboard, but for example if you have 3 players and here you have 5, it will do the, you know, 2 unnecessary loops. Okay, so we don't want that, we want how much we actually need. Okay, and we want to access our I will also break that here, so I will get the names. Okay, so we need to access our run texture block, okay, which is the agent data that run texture block at the y index. Okay, and just copy that a couple times, and instead of run set names. Okay, and names, there's some error here, let me copy that again. Oh, why I have error here? Oh, because, okay, never mind. Multiple under. Okay, so let's change it to the start tailbox. Okay, and the backgrounds. Okay, so we have everything, and next we need to get the player. So basically best player is best players at the index. Okay, so as previously, like in the init UI, we are accessing the best player based on the index. Okay, and next is run agent data, which is the run system that agent data map for our best player. Okay, so we need to get the run agent data for each player, so we can get the rank for him. Okay, and next we need to get the player data. So player data is basically the best player that get player save data. Okay, so we access his data with the current RP and current rank. Okay, and we want to make the rank texture block that, oh, rank, maybe not ranks, let's change the name to rank stat background. Okay, so rank texture block that set image. Okay, and we want to set the image to our rank agent data that current rank image. Okay, okay, and wait, we are here. Okay, and the next thing is name textboard. So our name textboard, oh, why I don't have K here, name textboard that set text to our S agent to message, and we want to provide we need to add the bracket here, and we need to provide our best player. Okay. Next is our stat text block, and instead of S agent to message, we need to add S string to message, and instead of best player, we need to we need to provide our ranks, like rank points. Okay. So we need to add the quotes and the zero brackets and player data that current RP. Okay, so we want to show the current rank points. Okay, and we want to check if our player, so player that we currently act, how is it called, updating the UI for, is the same player as the best player. Okay, we want to set the background color to a black one, so background that set color to a black. Okay, maybe I will do it that way so it's more readable. Okay, and else, so it's any other player, we want to set the background color to a white. Okay, and at the end of the all loops, so basically here, at the end of the loops in this line here, we want to check if our current loop time is less or equals 0.0. Okay, and if that's true, so basically our loop basically expired. We want to spawn this function again, so spawn update UI for all players, and we want to break the old one that expired. Okay, so the last thing is our onBegin function. So let's go to our onBegin here, and let's make that, configure that. Okay, so we need to add a for loop for all players. So for player, for get play space. Okay, that's get players, so basically looking for all the players in the game, and we want to spawn our own player joint. Okay, for player, and also we want to add the events, subscribe to events. So the first one will be player added event, and we want to subscribe to the on player joint, and also we want the player removed event from here. Okay. Okay, and why we call it on player joint twice? That's why this is for the players that are currently in game. So maybe you have the round system, and for each round this will happen because players are currently in game. Okay, and this will happen to players that join in progress basically. So not the game is happening, everything shooting or whatever your game is, and the player join in the progress, it will update when player get added here. Okay, so basically in progress. Here is when the player gets removed. Okay, and after that we want to spawn our update UI for all players. Okay, and that's basically it, I guess. Yeah, we can build a verse code. Okay, let's go to our UEFN, and let's place the scoreboard system. Okay, let's place that device, and let's connect our rank system. Okay, and how much players on scoreboard? I will go with 5. Set to track, I will set the rank points, and FPS I will go with maybe 5 or 10. Okay, let's go with 10. Okay, like it's 5. In 5 it will also looks good, like it will look smooth and etc. But I think I will go with, yeah, let's go with 5. It will not affect the performance of our game that much as 10. Like it will be, you won't even see this change, but yeah, I will go with 5. Maybe you have some bigger games or something. Okay, so let's launch the session and let's test it out. Okay, but we also need to remove the minimap, so let's go to Fortnite and let's go to devices and let's search for HUD controller. Okay, and let's show minimap set to no. Okay, we don't want minimaps. And let's start the game. I think it should work without changing, like checking. And yeah, as you see, everything worked. We have our rank system at the left bottom, yeah. And we have the scoreboard on the top right. As you see, I'm on the black background and he's on the white one. And if I get the points, okay. Oh, I think we need to get the points, okay. So yeah, he will go up in the order, and boom, he's up. And yeah, because I know the issue, because it could happen like that if we set reset points to true, and you know, counting by ranks, okay? And it could happen like that, like by rank points. As you see, we have the rank points, and yeah, we count by rank points, and the rank points resetted like each rank. I set it up to be like that. So if you want it to count by rank points, I recommend you to set in the rank system to leave reset points to false, okay? And now it should work better, so let's push the changes and let's test it out. Okay, so it's, you know, push the changes and let's test it out. I will, you know, rank up a bit. And as you see, I'm still on the, you know, very top, because it's not resting my points, basically. So as you see, I still have 100 of them, okay? And I rank up to like, you know, get some more points from the other account. Okay, I get, you know, getting at the second place, and as you see, it's still at the black background, you know, the second place. So yeah, everything works fine, as you see. And if I, you know, even rank up more, it will take some time, but for example to silver, okay, I did the silver, and as you see, the image is still changing to, you know, silver 2, silver 3, and it's still gonna change, okay? So everything works fine, okay? So that was it in this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If yes, I would really appreciate a like and a subscribe. And if you want every single code from this video, and yeah, code, because images is, you know, I don't add any images. So if you want the code from this video, just join my Discord. You know, everything is for free. You don't need to, you know, invite some friends or whatever. Just join the Discord and take the code, okay? So that was it, and see you guys in the next one.